Hey there, I'm Jordan. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I made a fake brick wall. I recently just moved into a new office space at my job, and I really wanted to make the space a little bit more personal and a little bit more my style. I wanted to do a statement wall, and I wanted it to be white brick, but after shopping around online I realized that a lot of the products already out on the market were really expensive and I wasn't willing to spend that much money on this project. So after doing a little bit of research and testing and trying it out, I came up with a way to do it for less than $40, which I think is a really good price considering how much it would have cost me if I would have bought the products online. But I do need to head out to the hardware store, which is where I'm going to be heading right now. Okay, so I just got back from Home Depot, and of course my stupid phone died right as I was walking through the store, so didn't actually get to show you what I needed to find, but that's okay, it's really easy to find, I promise. You're going to need insulation board. You can get it at Home Depot, you can get it at Lowe's, just about anywhere. It's basically just a big sheet of styrofoam. You can get it in really, really big sheets, or you can get it in smaller packs of 6, which is what I opted to do because I needed to transfer it multiple times, and the big sheet wasn't going to fit in my car. So I have it right here, and of course I unwrapped it before I videotaped any of this because, you know, I'm new at this. But anyway, this is what it looks like. This is the smaller pack of 6, even though there's only 4 right here. It's 1 foot wide by 4 feet long, and it's like 1 inch thick. So this is what I bought. It was about $8 for a pack of 6, and I ended up buying 4 packs of it. That's how much I decided figured I needed to cover the size of wall that I was going to cover. So that's the only thing that you're going to need from the hardware store. The second ingredient, or really the secret ingredient, is something that you probably already have at your house. The secret ingredient is acetone. This is what's actually going to carve the grout lines in the panels. That makes it look like it's actual brick. So like I said, I already had this on hand. Just about anywhere has this stuff. I didn't try nail polish remover that's not 100% acetone, but it might work, but I use 100% acetone. This is what works for sure. So we'll get into that once we get into the tutorial. I'll show you how I use it. You're also just gonna need a tiny paintbrush and probably a pencil just to draw out the lines. But without further ado, let's get started. So you're going to start by drawing out your brick pattern onto all of your panels. You can do this really however you would like. And then you're going to take a small glass cup with some acetone and your paintbrush and literally just paint on the acetone onto the lines you've drawn. This is going to make the grout lines that makes it look like it's real brick. If you can, I would recommend trying it out on a spare piece or maybe even on the back of one until you kind of get the hang of it, because you can end up using too much acetone, which I started to do in my first couple of runs with this. But once you kind of get the sense for how much you need, it becomes pretty easy and it goes really, really quickly. You can end up using a little bit too much, and in some places it ate away at the styrofoam a little more than I would like. So definitely go gentle in the beginning, and then you can always add more later if you want to. And here's a little bit closer so you can see just how easily the acetone dissolves the styrofoam, and you can also see how little I'm actually using on the paintbrush. The brush really wasn't that wet to the touch very often. You don't need that much, and like I said, you can always add more later. And you can see that some of the lines weren't always perfectly straight. The acetone can kind of do its own thing sometimes, so at the end I kind of just stood back and touched up little areas to make the lines a little bit more straight and make it look a little more seamless. Unless your panels perfectly fit the size wall you're going to cover, you're going to have to make a cut at some point. The easiest way I found to do this was to just use more acetone. I tried using a pair of scissors and an X-Acto knife at one point, and it just made a really big mess, and I found that the line wasn't very straight. So the easiest way I found was to just take more acetone and repeatedly apply it to where you need to make your cut, And you'll do this until it will eat its way through all the way to the back, and then you'll just kind of break off the piece that you don't need, and the line actually ends up being pretty straight and there's a lot less mess involved. This same method works well if you need to make space for an outlet or a light switch, which I ended up needing to do in my office. To mount the panels to the wall, I used small finishing nails, one at the top and one at the bottom of each panel, and I just poked it through the styrofoam and mounted it on the wall that way. I put a small piece of duct tape on the back and pierced it with the nail just to make sure that the styrofoam wouldn't break down, but honestly these panels are so light I wasn't worried about it falling down at all. And if you didn't want to put nails in the wall, you could easily use a command strip product on the back to mount it that way. And the nails were really small, I didn't notice them from the front, but if you were worried, you could easily paint over the panel and hide it. And here is the first finished panel. I ended up making 16 panels total. And honestly, the longest part of this process was drawing out the lines to begin with. Once I got going, the acetone part was really fast and pretty simple. You can also see that after I was finished, I went in and added little nicks and detail to make it look a little bit more authentic. And here you can see the finished product in my office. It looks so amazing. I'm so happy with how it turned out. I get so many compliments on it from people asking me how I did this. My office isn't quite finished being decorated yet, but the wall makes such a huge difference, and I really do enjoy working so much more because the space feels like it's my own. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed watching it. This is my very first video, so if you have any comments or questions or suggestions, please leave those in the comments below. I'd really like to hear them. And also, if you want to see more content like this, please hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. And I really hope you enjoyed this video and you'll give it a try yourself. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!